Hey guys, so I am currently in Pune city and I'm heading towards Bombay. I thought I'll make one video while I'm on this trip because I am driving alone and it's a good chance for me to share some of my thoughts a little bit more about the car. So yeah, I've spoken about this car a lot. So anybody who has been following my videos, they have a fair bit of idea of what to expect from the Honda Elevate. It's a very sporty engine, and anybody who has driven the Honda City will know the typical Honda sporty sound that comes in due to the IV Tech nature of the engine. So yeah, so it's a little louder than the competition, but it's a very beautiful sound. It's a very sporty sound. I would say that if you go at higher speeds and if your car is fully loaded, sometimes you will hear the engine strain. But sometimes you will hear the engine strain, and maybe I can show you that on my drive today. But you will hear the engine strain, but you will not feel the engine strain. So there is plenty of power. There's plenty of pickup. You can overtake well in this car, and there is if you ask me, there is more than enough power for sporty, spirited driving. Yeah. But some other negatives that I've also spoken about is that they don't have ventilation seats. A little bit, I would say, ever so slightly, Honda has given a little bit less under thigh support, I would say. It's not so, again, they've not made it so less that it's actually a big problem, but they have maybe just due to the stance of a SUV. I've noticed this in other cars as well. The under thigh support tends to be lesser than a sedan. So I think that has to do a lot with the stance of the car, and because it's an SUV, the under thigh support tends to be a little less, but again, it's very comfortable. So what happens is in this Elevate is that Honda has very smartly sort of raised the part where you rest your foot. So whether you're sitting on the front or if you're sitting behind, wherever you rest your foot, so this is the flat ground, and then it gives you a slope upwards. So what happens is you can rest your feet very comfortably, and you're sitting in a very comfortable position. So that is something very smart that Honda has done, is they have raised that portion on the floor for you to rest your feet. So even if there is a little bit ever so slightly less under thigh support, I think it's a very comfortable sitting, and you can sit very comfortably even for long distances. So we're just speaking about creature comforts. The car is definitely not lacking in features. It has a lot of features. It does miss out some features like the ventilation in the seats. It does miss out on rain sensing wipers. But it has ADAS, it has wireless charging, it has automatic door lock if you go away from the car. You can also start the car when you're away, like just by internet from Alexa or from the mobile app, or even by pressing the button in your key. You can actually start the engine, and the AC will start up, and the car will be cool for you when you enter the car. Another really, really cool thing about this car is the way the door unlocks. So what happens is that if you have the key in your pocket, you do not need to press any button to unlock the car. Like you just simply, like, if this is the door handle, you just dip your fingers into the door handle gap. Just 2 fingers is also sufficient, and the door unlocks. So it's a really cool feeling, like the car has kind of recognized you. There is a key in your pocket, and you just put your hand inside to open the handle, and it unlocks. So some really good creature comforts are also available in this car. I would say it's got a lot of features. Some of the negatives that people talk a lot about is the 360 degree, the lack of a 360 degree camera. Should it have been given? I don't know. See, at this price point for a top variant, maybe they could have given it. When you go to buy it on road in Pune, I think it comes up to 19 lakhs on road, and that's pretty reasonable if you ask me compared to the competition. So maybe it's difficult to expect all these features, but yeah, for people who would have liked more of these creature comfort, these features, it's something that they should have at least given it as an option, as an add-on, maybe for extra money. I think they could have done that. That's a reasonable ask. But yeah, I don't miss 360 degrees. So a simple reason is that when you turn on the right, you have this mirror, and it's got great visibility, right? So on the right side, you don't have any blind spot at all. Where you might have a blind spot is on the left side, because the person sitting on your side might block the view of the side camera, and also you have to turn your head very to the far left to view the side camera. So what they have done very smartly is that they have given this side camera where you get a view of the side, and this is very useful, guys. I don't know, but I really need to talk about this feature for a while. When you're on the highways, when you're overtaking, or everywhere. I use this a lot. I'm actually surprised how I was driving before without this feature. So when you actually experience this, you will realize how useful it is. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to have this feature, because you get a view of the side. And speaking about 360, so you have the left side view in the camera, you have the right side view from the side mirror, which is pretty good, and you have the rear camera also. There is a camera in the rear, and that if you need to view the vehicles behind, you can watch it. Right here you can see that there is a view for the rear. So the only thing missing is the front camera. I don't think that a front camera is necessary. I don't feel, because the visibility is good. You have a good bonnet. So I don't really miss a front camera at all. But I do wish they had kept front sensors, because in India, it is sometimes you have to park in tight spots, and you don't know if there is something, although you can see the bonnet, but you don't know if there's something protruding outside that might just hit, that is not visible to you. So I wish there were front sensors. After speaking about the negatives, I'm now going to go into the positives. We're going to reach the highway soon, and I'm just going to show you guys how it drives on the highway and how it picks up. And people who have doubts about the performance, I think they will not have any doubts after this video, because they will see how easily the car picks up, and they will see the ADAS coming into play and the joy of ADAS. So yeah, I'm done with the negatives, guys, and now I'm going to move on the positives. So it might even sound like a fanboy video, and I am in many ways a fanboy of Honda. So people who don't like to hear too much praise for Honda, maybe you should just stop watching the video right now, because from now it's going to be only positives. Okay, so one big positive that I had missed out is, everybody knows about it. Maybe that's why I did not talk about it in my previous videos, but it's the driving dynamics, guys. This car has a ground clearance of 220 mm. Okay, this is way more than all the cars in its segment. I don't know, I think it is more than the Harrier even, which is shocking. Are you seriously telling me this car is higher than a Harrier and a Safari? I think it is. So 220 mm is a lot of ground clearance, and if every car company could give it, I'm sure they would give it, right? But there's a reason that people don't give it, is because when you give such a high ground clearance, your car has a lot of body roll. So the people who are sitting inside the car, they will feel uncomfortable, because they will experience a lot of body roll. But in this car, that is not the case. The body roll is minimal. Obviously, if I compare with the Honda City was almost like, I just felt like that car almost touched the ground and drove. So that car is a different experience of body roll, and that's a different segment. It's a sedan. It's a very different kind of a drive. But for a car with this ground clearance, man, the body roll is minimal. and the driving dynamics, I feel sometimes like this is a Honda City on stilts. You know, they have just taken the city, they've given me great interiors, they've given me all of my functional features, and they have just raised it and given me a very, very, very cushy ride, something that was missing in the Honda City. That is something that I had. If I had any gripe with the Honda City, it was that I found the suspensions a little stiff, at least in the variant that I have, that is a 2015 model. That's the fourth generation. I found the suspensions a little stiff, and that's my gripe with Honda City, that I could feel every bump on the road, every khadda, every pothole, and India having so many of them, it's tiring. You know, it's tiring when you go for long distances. And I'm really amazed, and I'm really glad that Honda worked on that, and they gave a car that, you know, understanding the Indian context, they gave a car that is like 220 ground clearance, which is fantastic. And the suspension, I'll tell you, the suspension is, if you just see the suspension, I don't think it is that great, but I think it is because of the ground clearance. This suspension is so beautiful. You know, the whole combination with the ground clearance and the suspension, it gives you, it's not very stiff, and it's not very soft either. So that's the beauty of it. You know, this whole combination that these guys have engineered is phenomenal, and that is something that's something you can't put on paper. So if you go on a website and you see the Honda Elevate, you can't really put this thing on the paper, right? It's something you have to experience. It's something that you have to drive for some time and really experience the ride quality of this car. Ride quality, driving dynamics, boy, it's beautiful. It's one of the reasons why you would want to buy a Honda. The engine, I've spoken a lot about the engine noise, and I feel like there's a lot of discussion on the Facebook groups and everything about the noise, but guys, the noise, it's not a problem, and all these discussions are all rubbish. You know, I'll tell you, I have a Swift. I had a Swift, diesel Swift, and that being a diesel used to be way more louder, and it never sounded sporty like this one. So it's just a small amount of noise, but the joy and the acceleration that this car will give you. Okay, let me be honest here. It's not going to be as good as the turbo engines in a straight line. It's not that quick, okay? But you will not feel the lack of pickup. Right, so until we reach the highway, I can talk about some more positives because the Honda fanboy mode is now activated. So the music system is also really good. I really love the music system. It is better than the one on the City, and at least my City, which is 8-year-old. Keep that in mind. The only time I'm not happy with the system is that if I put it on 80%, 90% volume, and if the song is like really bass heavy, so that's the time when the sound tends to tear a little bit. But that's only if you put it like 90% more. You know, you just bring down the volume to 90, 85%, 80%, and you'll be fine. And it's a good sound quality. I'm not an audiophile, but I enjoy good music, and this audio system is plenty sufficient for me. So yeah, I'm currently in D mode, guys. I think we are good to be able to activate and use the adaptive cruise control. So now my leg is kind of relaxed. I don't know if you can see the dial, but I'm now increasing the speed, and yeah, it has sensed that car ahead of me and is automatically slowing down. Adaptive cruise control on these kind of highways, right? It gets really very convenient. Like now when the tempo came, just to be a little bit more safe, I had to press the brake and, you know, exit the adaptive cruise control. I didn't want to leave it to the machine. and now I go back into the adaptive cruise control mode. So remember, the lane keep gets activated above 69-70 kilometers per hour, and it works like a charm. We are currently at 60, so it will not kick in, but it's right now on adaptive cruise control. I'm not pressing the accelerator, I'm not pressing the brake, and it's a very easy drive. Yeah, like this kind of cutting, I'm not worried at all. The machine handles it really well. I can even increase the target speed now. So gradually increase the target speed, I would say, and don't ever keep the difference between your current speed and the target speed a lot. Like, don't be at 30 and keep your target speed at 70, guys, because the moment you get a free road, the car will accelerate, and then at that time, if anybody cuts in and all, it can get a little risky. So my 2 cents is definitely keep your target speed around a little bit, maybe 10 kilometers per hour, 20 kilometers per hour more than your current speed, but not more than that. So now I'm going to just show you how to overtake. So here I'm still in ADAS mode, and I just showed my indicator and I just turned the steering wheel, and the car is accelerating on its own. So yep, it's reached 80. So even the lane assist is now activated, and it can see these two-wheelers ahead, so the car is slowing down. I'm putting the indicator and I'm going to the right. So it's a very comfortable drive. It's very, very doable even in India. Now there's a jam here, so the car will slow down. And just a disclaimer, guys, I'm not in my ideal driving position. I've strapped the mobile to my chest, and so I'm sitting higher than I like. So this is not my ideal position. This is not the position that I'm most comfortable with. So after I stop the video, I'm going to go into my good position, and I'm going to just enjoy the drive. But this is for you guys. Yeah, it's following the milk truck ahead of me, the Gokul Doodh. Okay, this guy cut, so I just didn't want to leave it to the machine, and I manually intervened. When we enter the expressway, I will get out of the adaptive cruise control and everything, and I'll take manual control of the car just to show you all guys the pickup, because there are so many questions on the performance. There is no problem with the performance, and I'll show you guys that firsthand. There is no music playing, so you're getting a fair idea of the cabin noise, engine noise, whatever it is. Hopefully the camera, my phone is picking it up, and you guys are experiencing somewhat the same thing that I'm experiencing. Okay, I manually intervened here because the traffic is slowed down a lot. Yeah, this is a so-called highway. Could hear the grunt. I think also the grunt, and it's also the CVT, right? The transmission on the car is a CVT. CVT is very good for city driving, and it's very long lasting and low maintenance and everything, but it doesn't give you that ideal like a you know a very sporty experience, or a very quick pickup like the DCT. Obviously that technology is meant for quicker shifts and just really fast pickup. But again, the DCT in the Indian context, if you're driving it in the city, I must warn you guys, it does heat up. And I know a lot of the Kias and the Hyundais, they are notoriously known for their DCTs and their whichever other transmissions for getting spoiled because of the same reason, right? I mean, you're driving them 90% in the city, and in the city that pickup and that transmission is pretty useless if you ask me. Obviously on a road like this that would really be something else, but 90% of your drive when it's on the city, it's going to heat up and it's going to probably give you issues. So do your research if you're thinking about that car and that transmission. Just do your research on the DCT transmissions and just make sure they are long lasting and low maintenance. But the CVT, I find that even in the highway it works well. Like, I mean, okay, so right now I'm at 82 and I'm going to just cancel the ADAS and just step on the accelerator, and this is drive mode from 80 to 93. There's no issue at all. I just quickly reached 100 in no time. Wow. I think the pedal shifters are just given for I would say control. Like, you want that control. I think in Ghats it can be useful when you want to shift down a gear or go up a gear. But pedal shifters I've rarely used. I do put the car in sports mode sometimes. So when I put it in sports mode, what happens is that the car becomes a little bit more responsive. It holds on to gears, and sometimes if I'm in the mood for a sporty drive, for a more spirited drive, I put it on sports mode. So to give you the breakup, around 80% of the time I drive it. In fact, 85% of the time I drive it in D mode. 10%, 15% time I shift it into sports mode. And the pedal shifters is just very, very rarely. Very, very rarely. Just if I want that extra control. I don't know if this ADAS does that thing for reading the speed limit and all. I have not experienced it so far. I'll have to see in the settings whether it does that. But I haven't used it so far that way. Oh, see, there are some bumps on the road, and so beautifully the car has taken it. Ah, man, that's what I love. I love this. I love the suspensions. Yeah, one weird thing, very, very weird thing I found that when you cross 80, there's a light that lights up. I don't know why. I mean, 80 is, even in India today, 80 is not considered fast, especially in most of the highways and expressways. 80 is no big deal at all. I don't know why it lights up. I just find it weird. I mean, Honda, we are not that far behind. We have good roads. We don't need to be warned when we are above 80 kilometers per hour. That's probably not needed. Polite, they're greeting us with a namaste as we go. Two fine ladies over there, and I think the lady's name is Savitri and Narendra. Something's wrong. Okay, anyway, so picking up speed, you can hear the grunt. I think over there the engine did sound a little bit. It went into the straining mode here. And now we are into the expressway, so this is going to be a really good place to test it. Okay, so far it was on D mode. Let me try slotting it on sports mode. I think you guys got a fair idea in D mode about the grunt and everything. So now it's going to be sports mode. Sports mode activated. Yeah, I can already feel the steering wheel giving me that slight push for the lane. I don't usually drive like this, but just to show you all, guys. Oh, sports mode is definitely more peppier, guys. It's definitely more peppier. I'm sure it brings down your average a little bit, but it's fun. It's more fun than the D mode, and it's ever so slightly more noisier than the D mode, I would say. here, guys, over here, I'm not activated the adaptive cruise control because I just want to give you all guys a sense of the acceleration. So let's go slow and then all of a sudden pick up. I told you this is not my ideal driving position. So we are right now on 69 kilometers, and let's just take a quick run to 100 in sports mode to give you all. Okay, we're now at 62. Quick run to 100. Okay. I really slammed the accelerator, so that's why it made some more noise. Okay, I can't go to 100 right now because there are cars, but I'm trying. 89, 90, 92. Yep. Yeah, so this should give you guys an idea of the acceleration. There's no problem in the performance at all. It's a joy. And soon after I close this video, I'm going to go into my comfortable driving seating position, and I'm just going to enjoy this drive. And when I want to relax, I'm going to turn on the ADAS. I'm going to play some good music, and yep, that's about it, guys. So this is all I just wanted to touch to kind of share this with you all. Another video from my side. I hope you enjoyed this one too, and just thank you for all of the support and the love and the comments. It's very validating. I think if you like the video, it helps the algorithm and it spreads the video to more people. So that is again very helpful and very validating. And if you subscribe to the video, again, you will just get to know whenever I upload another video. So hopefully you guys had fun, and that's it for today, guys. See you. Bye.